would you encourage and prompt shy learners or demotivated students to get involved in your lesson? I would use TED Talk videos. For example, from this video, we can ask students to share their stories on how they've been bullied, ask opinion on how to tackle mental health, talk about stereotyping, writing activities on sharing their thoughts on autism, or listening activity on one of the TED Talk video, or even global communication discussed on one issue based on one of the TED Talk videos. These are some of the examples of TED activities that I have carried out. I asked my students to talk and discuss about it and answer some questions. We seldom use textbook, so they thought they weren't learning. Little do they know, they are learning more than they expected, and it started from video watching. Good evening, judges and viewers. I'll walk you through how TED videos and lessons could empower teachers in their teaching, especially during this pandemic, as what we need is to get the students' attention and their interest to mitigating their learning loss. I'm Magdalene Muuk from SMK Tebekang Serian, Sarawak. Bringing TED into the classroom is my project idea. Most of you are familiar with the word TED, technology, entertainment, and design, and it involves TED Talk. TED is the bigger umbrella, and under TED, there are TED Ed lessons and TED Ed clubs. What I'm doing now is merging all the three into one, TED Education, to cater my students' need, hoping to retain their involvement in my lessons during this pandemic. It is impossible for me to cater all their needs, but I'm doing my best to fill in the blanks. Building resilient students towards this challenging period of time is not about teaching them how to become successful. To me, it is about teaching them how to respond when they are not successful. We should be very thankful if they are able to do a thing or two based on what they have gained from the TED video or lesson. Shouldn't that be considered as accomplishment? A little bit about my project background. TED in the Classroom is a supplementary program for my Form 4 and Form 5 classes to complement my students' literacy skills, communication and presentation skills. In addition, it encourages and supports my students' deeper thinking by exposing and educating them to real life and current issues, global and cultural competencies by sharing TED Talk videos and TED lessons, as many of my students are lacking of exposure to English. Now, these are my problems that I face. Students feel lack of confidence to use English and are reluctant to participate in the activities. They are lacking of resources that could link them to the real life situation and outside world. There are times that I couldn't get hold of my students, and some of my students went off radar, especially during this pandemic. They have no internet connection and they're having issues with device. I'm sure we have similar scenarios. This time around, it is even challenging as we are not meeting our students face to face and the internet connectivity is beyond our control. What would be the solution for the issues mentioned? TED activities should be able to reduce the issues faced as we are going to deal with videos to engage students in their learning. It is hoped that by giving students the time and space to learn and allow them to speak up their minds would enable them to be captivated by the activities. This is advocating students' voice. Secondly, once in a while, allow them to unleash their creativity by doing what they have planned or what they want to do with their presentation or ideas. Give them the autonomy. Provide them with the activities where they will use their critical mind to think. Thirdly, assign mentor or peer coaching for group discussion so they would assist one another, because students would prefer to be approached by their peers rather than us talking to them. And as teachers, we can be guide on the side. And what will be the goal of TED in the classroom? TED can be used to advocating students' voice, where they can share and exchange what they have learned and how they learn through implicit knowledge. As during school hour, classroom time is limited, especially during this online learning. To add on, this might help students not to be left behind in their learning throughout this pandemic, as flip learning and fear coaching are incorporated, and it will correlate students with the 6Cs. It is not about completing the syllabus or the unit from the textbook, but it is more on to support students with learning skills and strategies. And as for teachers, the additional free resources available are beyond the textbook content. Who would benefit from this project? Definitely students, followed by teachers and community, as along the process, teachers can see the students' progress and achievement through activities they have carried out. Additionally, the contents for TED can be used as complementary and enhancement to any lesson activities within or outside the classroom. And it's not only meant for my Form 4 and Form 5, but it is applicable for primary school students. Even tertiary level can use it as their learning materials. We can even have online collaboration with other students to share and exchange ideas over a certain topic or time. I've walked you through with the project idea and its content, as well as the impact towards teachers and students. How will the project be implemented? As I mentioned earlier, it is a supplementary program for my Form 4 and Form 5 students to further enrich and build up my students' interest during or after lesson. Let us look at the timeline and implementation of the project. After they announced the top 15 finalists, I distributed out questionnaires to some teachers and students. That was for my need analysis. Then I pre-launched my project. I was lucky that I was able to carry out a few classroom lessons before the school closed, based on TED Ed materials. And I even share my project idea with my friends and colleagues via social media. My next step will be conducting webinars and hope to collaborate with teachers and other schools. After the webinars, I need to get feedback from teachers. Not only from teachers, but feedback from students is mandatory. And as for evaluation assessment, it is needed as to measure the failure or success of the lesson and the project itself. Here are the evidence of students' feedback. For example, how TED provides information and helps students in their writing, how TED videos improve students' listening, how TED Talk videos enhance students' reading skills, and how TED Ed improves students' speaking. As for teachers, I managed to get 57 respondents from the teachers. And when asked whether the videos assist their learning, 55 say yes, 2 say no. When asked whether video or lessons are related to the subject matter, 29 respondents say yes, 1 say no, 27 say maybe. And when asked whether they want to know more about TED, 55 say yes, 2 say no. And when asked whether the videos or lesson expose their students to new things, 57 respondents say yes. And when asked whether they want to apply TED in their teaching and learning, 35 say yes, 1 say no, 21 say maybe. Is the project doable? Will it be sustainable? I would say yes, because the ongoing supplementary activities given by teachers to students will be sufficient to provide them with extra knowledge and information. With lots of exposure to free resources and material will enable students to escalate their language skills. As for teachers, the resources available are totally free, and I would like to encourage teachers to apply and join TED Educator Hub for free sharing. You can exchange and share your ideas with global educators. As for the grant, how am I going to spend the grant? First of all, I will get TED Talks and National Geographic Perspective book. And from that book, I will print out the materials and share it with my students. As for highly needed students, I will assist them with their internet data or top up their prepaid credit. And the printed materials should be needed for publicity for teachers and community. Every child deserves a champion by Rita Pearson. Hence, allow TED to be that champion for the students and teachers, and give TED the chance to be in more classroom and acknowledge students' voice. With this opportunity, I would like to pledge to MOE to recognize and acknowledge TED Club as one of the extracurricular. As all for the 5 past years, my TED Club has been shading under English Club. I think it is about time that TED Club stand on its own. Bring TED into the classroom. Thank you.